And the reverse grid race sees Kyle Reid drawing pole position, 5th in race 1, and he starts on pole in this one with Alan Walk on his outside. Row 2, and looking to come through quickly, Tim Slay and Vic Covey Jr. David Slay in 5th, and Hamish Brandon in 6th position. Third row of the grid, Fiona Wallace and Michael Falconer, then Kenny McLeod and Emma Bruce, Elaine Marshall 11th. Chris Smiley's got it all to do from the back after his exclusion in race 1. Should give us some fireworks as Chris comes through. Let's see how they go though. Kyle Reid then finds himself on pole position at Cadwell Park in only his 3rd race meeting. This is going to be a big moment for him. Alan Walk on the outside. Conditions still pretty good here at Cadwell Park, and let's see whether David Slay can work his way through from 5th. The reverse grid race is always a little bit more difficult, perhaps more so here at Cadwell, although we have seen plenty of overtaking so far today. Away they go, great start. Kyle Reid gets away well. Chris Smiley breaks ranks very efficiently as well and starts working through, but it's Tim Slay through the middle of the front row. From 3rd on the grid, Tim Slay up into the lead as they go into Coppice for the first time. Tim Slay leads, Kyle Reid in 2nd place. Alan Walk's looking for 2nd, side by side with Reid, but I don't think he's going to come through. The whole field have made a great start. Elaine Marshall made a good start as well, beating Emma Bruce off the line, so she'll be pleased with her start down towards the back of the field. But a cracker, absolute cracker then from the front, from the 2nd row of the grid for Tim Slay. David Slay is up into 3rd place and challenging for 2nd down the inside of Kyle Reid. We're not even halfway through lap 1 and David Slay from 5th on the grid. Pole position, race 1 win, fastest lap, new lap record for Slay. Is proving his mastery around here, and he's up into 2nd place with just his brother Tim to deal with before he can perhaps start to think about laying claim to a 2nd win of the weekend. Woohoo! 3rd place Kyle Reid, then it's Alan Walk, followed by, having a great run, is Kenny McLeod. So Kenny McLeod in the white car ahead of Vic Covey Jr. Then it's Chris Smiley. Smiley's caught up with Covey already, so cracking stuff from him. The red and white car is Chris Smiley, which we should know by now from race 1. Another red and white car behind is Hamish Brandon. Down behind them in the black machine is Michael Falconer, car number 2. Raced in the XR2s a couple of times last year. Still then out front, it's Tim Slay. We're looking at the 3rd place train at the moment, headed by car number 20, Kyle Reid. Alan Walk just behind him in car number 14. And Walk comes offline, looks down the inside line. That's covered by Reid in 3rd position. Vic Covey. Now, is that an attacking stance or a defensive stance that we're seeing from Covey? He's coming under pressure from Chris Smiley, who nips around the outside. Here we go on board with Smiley, trying to get on pace with Vic Covey Jr. here. Cracking run from Smiley from the back of the pack, and this is the way to deal with anything like an exclusion, is just put it behind you, get on with the race, and Chris Smiley he's doing that. How quickly has he come through the field? We're looking at another quality driver coming through the ranks of the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. Good awareness from him there. Little look in the mirror to see what's going on behind him before he refocuses on Vic Covey Jr. in front of him. But he's still coming under pressure from Kenny McLeod. There is Kenny that those two have dealt with in the white and gold car. Hamish Brandon behind them. You heard from the various interviews that this is a very unforgiving circuit, and the teams have been working overtime to get all these cars back out onto the racetrack. So Kyle Reid running in 3rd place. Covey has a look down the inside. Kyle Reid locks up under pressure. Covey certainly knows where to apply the pressure here. And look at the cars behind him. It's Alan Walk now been passed by Covey. Chris Smiley looking at Walk to see if he can go through. So Covey picking the positions up. Walk looks up the inside as they climb up the mountain, but Covey surely, yeah, he knows his way around here. He did okay last time. That scored a few points in the last visit a couple of seasons ago. Through Hall Bends they all go, and Kyle Reid still hanging on from the former champion into the hairpin. Nobody thinks about putting on a move there. We're still, of course, in the early stages of the race here. Lap time's a little bit quicker, if anything. They were in race 1. Covey in the Pellet Force car pulls out early. That was a good move by Covey. Got a little bit of a run coming out of the barn corner, the last corner, side by side with Kyle Reid, and he's got a little bit more grunt, uses the extra momentum, and he's through into 3rd position. Cracking stuff from Vic Covey. So a podium position now for Vic Covey again. That's how you win championships, isn't it? Keep pumping away with those. We had a quick look at Michael Falconer. This is the view from Hamish Brandon's car. So loads of work having been done by the Minimax team, run by Craig Noble, over the course of the weekend, and good that they've got all their cars back out on circuit, all 12 cars here at Cadwell Park on circuit for our second race of the weekend. Oh, the problem there for Kyle Reid, who goes into Chris Smiley. Oh dear, and off goes Alan Walk in car number 14 as well. Walk's going to try and recover. There was just a little bit of contact coming through there, and I think that was, again, nothing malicious. We haven't seen anything malicious this weekend. But Kyle Reid is out. There is Vic Covey Jr. in third place. Chris Smiley is up into fourth place. Kenny McLeod in car number 6 is fifth. Great to see Kenny up into the top 6. And same can be said of Hamish Brandon in car number 8. The Panda car running well. Hamish perhaps on course for a decent points haul here. Running 8th in the championship coming into this round. As you heard Sasha say, the championship points between David Slay and Vic Covey Jr. now reversed from where they were coming into the meeting, with David now leading the championship by a handful of points from Covey. And what counts, of course, being an away round is the double points, extra point for pole and fastest lap. But Covey is the faster of the two drivers at the moment on circuit. As we look at Hamish Brandon, this is the battle for the lead. Tim Slay leading David Slay, the battle of the brothers. Turn 1 Coppice. Then round the long right-hander, turn 2 into Charlie's. Here's Covey. Billy No Mates at the moment back in third position. Tim Slay makes a little bit of a mistake there. David Slay goes a little bit further wide. Be mindful of what happened earlier on. I suppose really if you're going to have an error, which is what you heard him admit to after the interview in race 1, the best time to have it is probably qualifying. Down the inside, the door well opened by Tim Slay, and David Slay through into lead position. Now, I'm wondering why Tim Slay wasn't defending that. Maybe he knows the car's not up to the job. If they slow each other up, it would allow Vic Covey Jr. to come back into the mix. But Tim Slay doesn't look like he's given up. Whether that was a mistake, that was a very big, wide open door for Cadwell Park, I've got to say. So David Slay through into the lead. That's going to push him even more points clear of Vic Covey Jr. 12 points for a race win, doubled up to 24. For it being an away round. 10 points for second position, 8 for third, which is where Covey is at the moment. So Covey potentially 8 points down on this race, although with the faster lap that will be reduced to 6 points. As Covey said though, the championship not won until the last round of the year, and we know that Vic is a very, very fast and consistent driver, and will take the battle back over the normal race format, which is 2 straightforward gridded races and 1 reverse grid race, as opposed to just 1 normal race and 1 reverse grid race that we've got today. And it's all going to pan out over the rest of the championship. It's always an enthralling championship, Minis, and even more so this year. And look at David Slay leading Tim, who hasn't lost too much ground. Vic Covey comes through in third position, enjoying the open space and setting some hot laps. Chris Smiley there in 22 is in fourth position. Down behind them we've still got Kenny McLeod, Alan Walk, Hamish Brandon all in the mix. Fiona Wallace still leading the ladies challenge. I think Fiona might have taken the lead of the ladies championship. The Slay brothers continue on their merry way around Cadwell Park, and Tim Slay definitely hasn't been lost, but you just got the feeling that that was a let through rather than a clear overtake. And I mean, I'll stand to be corrected and apologise to Tim and David if that's not the case, but Tim still keeping things fairly equal to his brother who's out front. Vic Covey still in a bit of a lonely third place at the moment, banging in some quick lap times but not making too much impression on the Slay brothers out front. So down through Barn, and then the drop down to the start-finish straight as we go back and see Kenny McLeod in car number 6. There is Hamish Brandon. In fact, Alan Walk down behind them, so Walk with a bit of work to do. Good to see Alan banging in a couple of strong races in this one. You may remember he's had a couple of nasties up at Knock Hill in recent times, enjoying his racing, going through Then is Michael Faulkner in the background, car number 2. This is only his 3rd meeting in the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup as well. Michael running in 9th position in the Newcomers Championship. He's going to improve that this weekend because we've got a couple of drivers that haven't made the journey as we go on board with Alan Watt. Alan running 9th in the Championship. And that's a pretty good position for Alan Watt, 9th in the Championship. Bear in mind, he didn't race at round 1. So he's going to haul himself a little bit further up. Great view of him racing now. Looking at the inside line here. Down the inside he goes. And past Hamish Brandon. This is the view from Hamish's car. There is Alan. He's through on the inside. Very neatly done. We saw some pretty frenetic overtaking at the sharp end of race 1. As you can see here from race 2, these guys dicing for 5th, 6th position. All good, clean stuff.